I now give the floor to the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic.
Thank you, Mr. President. I deliver this statement on behalf of His Excellency, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Faisal Miqdad. The current October witnesses criminal escalation that exceeds all imagination and criminal, barbaric practices against the Palestinian people that break the heart and that amount to war crimes and crimes against humanity. The Israeli occupation is shelling civilians in Gaza and is using internationally prohibited weapons, and it's cutting off water and fuel and food and medicine and the basic necessities of life from our people in Gaza and threatening to forcibly displace them. Israel has added to its long list of crimes a new chapter that is more bloody through the attack of the Ahli hospital and the attack of the Orthodox Church, which is the third oldest church in the world. In addition, it has targeted UNRWA schools that Palestinians thought it was a safe refuge from Israeli bombardment. These massacres were not to happen if not for the insistence of some Western countries to give a carte blanche to Israel, which they call the right to self-defense, providing it with an umbrella of impunity and protection. Syria reiterates that the main reason for the current escalation in the occupied Palestinian territory is the injustice suffered by the Palestinian people through decades of occupation. Through this barbaric war, Israel is seeking to liquidate the Palestinian question through its massacres and genocide against the Palestinian people. It is pursuing a policy of burnt land. Israel today, once again, is reminding us of its dark past. The victims of its aggression during the past days has exceeded 5,000 deaths, most of whom are women and children. This proves without a doubt that Israel, through its extremist ideology and terror, is the other face of ISIS, the terrorist organization. Mr. President, the Syrian Arab Republic condemns the conduct of the United States and its allies in the Security Council, which has led to an inability to fulfill the Council's responsibility to halt the Israeli aggression. The United States did not only impede the Council, but also supported the Israeli war machine through military support and providing modern equipment. It has also provided millions of dollars in support, in addition to using its media to distort the Palestinian people. In this context, my delegation reiterates that the Security Council must uphold its responsibility to end Israeli massacres and crimes and to hold their perpetrators accountable, free from political hypocrisy and double standards. We categorically reject the attempts to equate the victim and the killer, and the attempt to equate a victim of occupation and an occupying power. My delegation reiterates once again its support for the Palestinian question, and we will not spare an effort to support the Palestinian people in their legitimate struggle to restore their rights, including the inalienable right to self-defense and to resist occupation and liberate its land and establish its independent state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The Syrian Arab Republic calls on the Security Council to uphold its responsibility to end the attacks of Israel against the civilians in the Gaza Strip and providing urgent and immediate humanitarian access to the people in Gaza and rejecting any attempt to displace the people. We emphasize that the region will never enjoy stability so long as the Palestinian people remain deprived of their rights and so long as the occupation of Arab territory continues and the disregard for international resolutions continue. Mr. President, the Israeli crimes in Palestine cannot be separated from its practices in the occupied Syrian Julan since 1967, which are a representation of its continued aggression against our people in Julan and its commitment of the most heinous crimes, killing and displacement and detention, and continuing its expansionist policy through the increase of settlers and the attempt to affect demographic change and the confiscation of agricultural land and establishing large windmills on territory that does not belong to it. Simultaneously with the aggression in Gaza, it is continuing its repeated violations against the Syrian sovereignty and against its territorial integrity. On Sunday, Israel has waged, on the 22nd of October, for the third time in a row during 1 week, an airstrike targeting the two airports of Aleppo and Damascus, which led to the death of a worker in Damascus and threatened civil aviation and impeded humanitarian efforts of the United Nations and led to material damage, leading to a halt of functioning in the two airports. This is proof that it has no regard for civilian life and continues its crimes. And this is the main characteristic of Israeli conduct in the region. In conclusion, Mr. President, and while my country condemns the Israeli aggression and its repeated attacks against Syrian territory, we warn against these continued violations, which will lead the region into a larger violence and that cannot be contained. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the representative of the Syrian Arab Republic for their statement.